Hello students, today we are going to deal with the lesson Ozymandias. It's written by Shelley. And the poem Ozymandias is a sonnet, okay? And sonnet means a poem which is having 14 lines, okay? The 14 lines, the poem which you have in the 14 lines, you can look at your textbook and see the 14 lines out there, and it is based on that. And today we are going to deal with first we'll see the theme of the poem as well as some of the verse meaning, and we will be moving on the deep explanation about the lessons, and last we may asking some of the personal questions to the poem. Okay, first we are seeing the theme of the poem. The Ozymandias is a poem about a proud and arrogant king. Okay, so speaking about the king, okay, very arrogant and very proud king. And this poem tells that no matter how much wealth, power, strength you have eventually, okay, if you have how much wealth, or no matter that how much wealth and power, strength you have, eventually everything comes to an end. Okay, once you died, everything comes to an end. That's what the poet is telling it. And death is a great leveler. Okay, a man is mortal, nothing besides remains. Time brings an end to power, grandeur, and pride of Ozymandias. Okay, he was a great king. He's having a lot of power and authority. Okay, he's a great proud person. And once if he dies, nothing is we are carrying, isn't it? So that is come to an end. All the power and authority will come to an end. So that is what about the speaking about the first stanza or the first theme about the poem. Okay, speaking about there was a king, and the king has a lot of power. And here now we are going to see about the first stanza. Okay, we can read the first stanza. And I met a traveler from the antique land who said that the vast and trunkless leg of stone stand in the desert. So it is happening in the desert. The traveler went to a desert and seeing the desert birds, the two pieces of statues of the king. Okay, they are seeing about the Ozymandias. Okay, is a king and is seeing the statue. Okay, was broken. So by seeing that is based on the first stanza. Okay, some of the words meaning that we need to understand. Antique, the ancient and old, the vast and huge and gigantic. Trunkless is without main body part, and sunk the concealed shelter, broken visage, face and countenance, frown, wrinkle and crease, sneer and scorn and contempt. Okay, so that was the meaning of the first stanzas, and some more meanings are there. Please keep in mind that to understand the once you read the stanza and you have the better ideas about the words meaning, if you know the words meaning, so you have the better idea about the each stanza. So it is containing the 14 lines in the sonnet chapter. So the second part, the first part of the sentence of the called inhuman and merciless, command and order, sculptor, engraver and inscriber, survive, remains and exist, stamp, print and inscribe, mock, laugh at and ridicule, fed abroad. So this was the first one. These lines have been taken from the poem Ozymandias written by Shelley. Okay, that's the poet, and so it is written by him, and it's written by the lines are taken from the Ozymandias, the poem, the first stanza. And the explanation in these lines, the poet describes the picture of a broken statue of a vain and proud king. So there was a king with a lot of power and a lot of authority, and he was taken so merciless to the people. So this is the poet. The poet met the traveler who was from the Permit land. He told the poet that in the desert he saw two trunkless standing in the desert. Its broken face was half sunk in his sand. So the traveler was telling about these things. So, but the expression of the pride, proud, and authority, arrogant, and hated were quite obvious from the half-buried face in the statue, which showed that the sculptor was adept in the art and observed those negative feelings of Ozymandias quite well. Those feelings were still alive on the lifeless thing. So in the face of itself we can see how the person is, how arrogant he is. Okay, there was a lying in his hand in the sand, which is used to make fun of all, and his heart was exhausted of his people when he was in power. So people are really afraid of him because he was so merciless. So we will moving on the second sentence. Okay, and on the pedestal this verse appear. Okay, in that statue, in that Ozymandias statue, there is verse that my name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my work, ye mighty, and disappear. Nothing besides remained, round and decay. That was the verse has written in the stats. Okay, so he was a very proud king, and he himself is very arrogant to the people, and he want only the victories. He was how much struggle the people. He never show any merciless to the people, so he was always get the name. Some of the words meaning we can say the mighty, the powerful, disappear, disappointment, and the pedestal, the base of the foundation, decay, the decline, the decomposition. Close is huge and genetic, wreck and during distractions. Boundless is timeless, limitless, and bare is the bare and back. Okay, some of the words meaning. So it is some of the words meaning you are knows, but then some of the words meaning are given on your textbook. Please look into there also. And some of synonymous, equal and isolated, level and smooth, even, equal, and stretch and spread. Okay, and now we'll be moving on the explanation about the second sentence. In this line, the poet say that in that desert near the broken sculpture of Ozymandias, there was a base on which some words were carved, where he claimed that he was the king of the kings, and that everyone should be impressed by the great work done by him, and should be disappointed as well because nobody could able to do them. The inscribed words show that the king's life was splendid, and there was the much of king. So the youth's life was very rough and rude. Okay, he was not showing any merciless to the people. He was so proud about it. He wanted his name is always highlighted. So in that way he was doing a lot of things to the people that we can see in these lessons. Okay, please keep in mind that. And we can also see the king's explanation, how does he behave, how does he is the character. Okay, but and time is a great leveler that finally brings to an end to all the mighty pride and arrogance, and the same happened to Ozymandias. Now, around the huge distractions of the statue, the Ozymandias only stand is stretched till miles. All the achievements have gone to dust. The poet wants to say that we should be humble and polite. Moreover, power or wealth should not make a proud, because nothing is immortal. So the poet wants to say that nothing is immortal. If you have any power and authority, don't show your power and authority to others. Okay, so nothing is immortal. So some of the most important questions. Okay, that should personal question. What is the theme or the central idea of the poem Ozymandias? So central idea of the what is the theme of the poem? So it is speaking about the king, isn't it? This is speaking about the king, and how does the character of the king, so we can see that what is the theme or the central idea of the poem Ozymandias. Okay, what was the theme? Okay, there was the great king, and he was so arrogant to everyone. And what he said, he wanted to get a name, and he was so proud about himself, isn't it? So we can be based on these ideas, we can be can complete the answers. That he is a very good, he is a very proud and merciless king, and he want only get a pride, and he is to command to everyone, and he is only to get an attractions to the people. Okay, that means he is thinking that he is the only greatest one. So the proud about the man, isn't it? The proud of the king. Okay, that his king name is Ozymandias. And what did the traveler sees in the desert? So the traveler, so you can see on a textbook photos, isn't it? The statues photos are the Ozymandias king in his statues is broken legs. Okay, broken statues he has seen, and in that broken statues he can see that the face of a king. Okay, so proud and so arrogant king. Okay, it was the author is telling like that. Okay, and the third question we can see what was written on the pedestal. Okay, what was written My name, you can see on a textbook, the second stanza it is written there. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, yeah, mighty and despair. So that was written on the statue, okay? And that is the answer for that. And why did the traveler admire the sculpture? Okay, so why did that? Because by seeing the face of the statue, the persons, the king, the Ozymandias was a great and proud man. Okay, by his arrogant face. Okay, his arrogant face, and he was so strong and powerful. And by seeing the face of the man, we get some of the admired by his behavior. Okay, that was the answer. So please keep in mind all the explanations and details. Please go forward and ask yourself